Expanding your perspectives will expand your perceptions. In the Bible, King David of Israel is always applauded for having great faith in his God and for having that faith help him slay the giant Goliath. The story has always been a depiction of how a little guy can defeat an overwhelming force. It is a good story and it is worthy of remembrance when we feel like there are massive obstacles or challenges in our lives. But the story has never been told correctly, and there is always a huge context missing when the story is regurgitated. Specifically in verse 25 through 29 of the first book of Samuel, in it you find that David was at first terrified of the giant until he heard the following, quote unquote, "Have you seen this man who is coming out? He comes to taunt Israel. The king will give great riches to the man who strikes him down. He will give his own daughter, and he will give the house of his father exemption in Israel." Then David began to ask confirmation and validation among the men in the battlefield. Quote unquote, he would ask, "What will be done for the man who strikes down that Philistine over there and takes away reproach from Israel?" He factually asked various times just to make sure. Suddenly, he gets a burst of courage. He said, "Let no one lose heart because of him. Your servant will go and fight with this Philistine." And that's found in verse 32. See, David had a dream and a desire that he did not have before. The second he heard and confirmed that the victor will receive riches, tax exemption, and a chance at becoming royalty by marrying the king's daughter, he literally became a Superman. Can you see how a massive point was missing? Here you now see a much different perspective from the one told before, giving you much needed data to expand your perception. This is something that always happens. People will narrate stories and give you data based on a pre-acceptive narrative. Other pieces of data or information will always seem to slip by or become irrelevant. It is your job to be aware and gather the full picture and the whole story before coming to final conclusions about what a certain piece of data seems to be telling you. Keep in mind that people's perception is only as deep as how much they have learned to expand their perspective by learning from different points of views, looking at the same data. The story fully grasped tells you that your reward for exercising faith is essential and must be tangible. Essentially, knowing why you are doing something is highly relevant to your ability to transcend and surpass mountain-like obstacles. It is the driving force for humanity. You trying to hit a target for no reason will make sure that you will not hit the target ever. You will lack motivation and force. You will lack the ability to persist and the discipline to do what it takes to get it done. Faith is the assured expectation of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Yes, your mental projections and knowingness that a certain work will lead to reward is faith. So why do you get up in the morning? Why live life as you currently live it? What is the vision you must create in order for you to defeat Goliath-like obstacles? You don't know? Shouldn't you know? It is your moral obligation to know. This is because we are all dealing with the figurative Goliath-like situation. This is because we are all dealing with a figurative Goliath-like situation. And sooner or later, it will come and knock at your door, and you will have to confront it sooner or later. For this reason, you must develop a laser-like focus on your highest visions of self. It is how we grow and prosper. It is the way you develop the energy and courage to live life and break through barriers.